surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. On the phone is Frank McGillan. He is the Senior Vice President and the Chief Commercial Officer at Neurometrics. We're going to find out what that is right now. He's got a survey that he wants to tell us about from Neurometrics and talks about the rise of pain tech, a new alternative and complementary technology-based therapy for chronic pain. I'm looking forward to hearing about this one. Good morning, Frank. How are you?
I'm doing well, Larry. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Where are you located?
We're just outside of Boston.
Oh, okay. All right. How's the weather today?
Rainy, like I think most of the East Coast.
So when we talk about pain technology, that almost makes me hopeful because you hear about so many people getting addicted to opioids or whatever they use to medicines, chemicals.
Yep.
So is there a technology to help with pain that is beyond prescription medicines?
Absolutely. And with September being Pain Awareness Month, we're trying to make folks aware that there are alternatives to taking opioids. You mentioned the survey. We recently did a survey amongst chronic pain sufferers, and we found 90% of them are looking for alternatives because they're just, A, don't want to use opioids, and B, don't like the side effects of common medications.
So I don't know if this is the same, but I had I was in a car accident. It's been a long time now, and the doctor had these little electrode things he put on my leg because the pain was in my leg. I guess I braced myself or whatever when the accident, I could see it coming. So anyway, I had these big bruises and I had these like pains, and it wasn't probably the same intensity that some people have gone through, and I feel actually lucky. But he had this thing, and he had a battery on it, and when he cranked it up, I could feel like a tingling, and then eventually kind of nullified the pain. It was kind of very cool.
Yeah. I mean, what you're describing is e-stim machines, which are used in a lot of physicians' offices, and our technology, Quell, basically takes that same technology and puts it in a wearable device you control with an app on your phone. And what we're doing is activating the body's natural pain blockers, so we can block pain without using medication and avoiding a lot of the side effects.
So what are the pros and cons of that? As if I have a pain in my foot, doesn't it serve a purpose, I guess?
Well, there's two types of pain. There's basically what I call good pain. So if you sprain your ankle and you keep walking on it, you'll do damage. And that's good pain. It helps warn you. Chronic pain is unlike that. It's a pain you feel every day for more than 3 months or more. And that's a pain that just prevents you from doing activity, prevents you from sleeping, interferes with mood, and it really becomes non-productive.
So has technology in pain relief become more affordable, just like technology for my cell phone is more affordable now?
Yeah, I think over time, the technology's really advanced. You described technologies in the physician office. What we have is an over-the-counter. It's an FDA-cleared device that can be worn 24/7 if you need. The devices, we try to make it affordable, and an ongoing basis, about $1 a day for using the Quell device.
Wow! Oh my gosh, that's a godsend for somebody in pain. Does it help with pain? I'm trying to think of pain that might be hard to like a headache. It seems like that's deep in your head. Would that help with that?
Or fibromyalgia?
Okay, good one.
Yeah. So our technologies broadly indicated from the FDA are covered for chronic pain. We find that headaches and migraines it's less effective on. Mostly people are using it for body pain, lower back pain, foot and ankle pain, arthritic pain. We do have people using it for fibromyalgia, which is defined as widespread pain. And one of the things that's really cool about the Quell technology is it doesn't matter where your pain is, you're wearing it on your legs. So what we're doing is tapping into your central nervous system.
Oh, wow. That is amazing how you guys figured that out.
Mm-hmm. Well, this also... go ahead.
I was going to say our background is in neurotechnology. We came out of the MIT, and we've got some pretty smart doctors and scientists here who figured out how to do this.
Thank God we have people like that, right?
Will this also help diabetes patients?
A number of people who are suffering from chronic pain related to diabetes are using it. Often that's foot pain, foot and leg pain, and we've seen people having good results there.
And that also includes restless leg syndrome?
We are not approved for restless leg syndrome. Many people believe there's a link between pain and RLS, but our indication is really around chronic pain.
Oh my
gosh. Okay. Wow. Where do you see this going? What do you suspect you will be talking about 10 years from now?
Well, we expect that the technology will just get better and easier to use. We just launched we launched originally in 2015. We just launched our newest version last week at Pain Week, which is a medical conference. And the new device, it's smarter, it's more powerful, and it's 50% smaller than the original device. So we just think the technology will continue to get better and easier to use.
So when a person goes to their doctor, does the patient have to bring it up, or will the doctor automatically use this as a prescription?
Well, the best news is that Quell's available without a prescription. So it's an FDA cleared device, but we were able to get approval to sell it directly to consumers.
Oh,
I know this listening audience, and I know that if I don't ask how we can get more information, they'll write me. Because if you're sitting out there right now and you're listening and you've got some kind of a chronic pain, I know you're probably saying, come on, Larry, come on, Robin, ask how we do, what do we do? So what do they do? I mean, is there an easy answer to that?
Easy answer is to visit our website, which is quellrelief.com, which is QUELLRELIEF.com. And there we've got information on our technology, the clinical studies, how it works, and where to buy it.
Does this also help with sleep disorders, or is that not considered chronic pain?
So it is cleared for use while sleeping, and there's this link between chronic pain and sleep. If you're in pain, obviously it's hard to sleep. And unfortunately, if you're not getting great sleep, it makes your pain feel worse. So people are getting good relief for their pain while sleeping, which improves their overall quality of life.
And when the person gets these devices, you have people on staff that they're able to chat with about how exactly to use it for their particular chronic pain, and they can have an ongoing relationship with you guys?
Absolutely. No, we've got a customer care team here in Boston that handles hundreds of calls per day. And, we do mundane things like helping people get set up, but, also over time, if they're having difficulties with one thing or another, really helping them get the most out of our technology.
For the listeners, I just went to the website. This looks amazing. I mean, I didn't know what to imagine picturing, but the thing looks like a cuff that wraps around the leg, the calf of the leg. And then it's not on 100% of the time. It looks like it's on only intermittently. Is that right?
Yeah. So once you put the device on, first time you use your smartphone. There's an app to calibrate it that's personalizing it to your needs. Once you do that, it's automated and it'll stimulate your nerves for an hour.
Oh my gosh.
An hour on, an hour off throughout the day.
Wow. The website is quellrelief.com. QUELL. relief.com. Oh my gosh, this looks like a really amazing thing, and it actually looks sporty. It doesn't look like you'd be embarrassed to have this on your leg if you were out running or something, right?
Yeah, we designed it to look like something an athlete might wear because we don't want to stigmatize people who are wearing it.
My gosh, what a great idea. Well, thank you for sharing this with us, Frank. I guess we'll just leave the audience with that website. That's probably the best thing. quellrelief.com. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Great, Larry and Robin. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good information. All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Hurricane Florence is getting closer to the Carolina coast with hurricane-force wind expected to kick in tomorrow night. President Trump says in a video message this morning the federal response is ready, but
bad things can happen when you're talking about a storm this size. It's called Mother Nature. You never know, but we know.
The storm's expected to stick around for a couple days once it hits, making flooding more likely. The New Hampshire primary sets up a first no matter who wins in November.
Chris Papp is beating a crowd of 10 other Democrats to win the primary for New Hampshire's first congressional district. If he wins the midterm race, he'll be the state's first openly gay representative. He'll be running against a former police chief, Eddie Edwards, who's gotten backing from President Trump. If Edwards wins, he'll be the first African-American representative for New Hampshire.
Fox's Jill Nato. Primaries in Rhode Island are today. Fox News. We report, you decide.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms. Frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way, which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Here's great news from your old friend Bob Wines at Bob Wines Camellia Gardens in Ocala. The mums are in. Yes, the perennial fall favorite, mums, have arrived in gorgeous red, orange, bronze, yellow, purple, and pink. The number 1 size, regularly $6.99, you get 6 for just $35.99. When you buy 2 or more of the larger 10-inch size mums, they're just $12.99 each. Pick yours out now while selections are huge. More deals this week from BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. The popular fall veggies in the jumbo 4-pack still just $3.49. A great selection of favorite perennials, regularly up to $24.99 for just $7.99. And if you're landscaping, check out that 10% off coupon. Store hours until 4 Monday through Friday. Saturdays 9 to 2. Come on over. Bob Wines on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Times of clouds and sun on this Wednesday. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in places, mainly near the coast. The high 88 at the coast, 92 inland. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 73 inland, 78 on the coast. Partly sunny Thursday, a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 89 at the coast, 93 inland. For Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid with a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm, mainly inland. The high 90 at the coast, 94 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You're thinking about selling your home, but where do you start? Easy. Call Angie at 352-361-8359. Angie works with you to get your home sold. Angie is more than just an agent with Roberts Real Estate. She's a pro with heart. Call her at 352-361-8359, and you will know you have the right person.
I'm Angie Umpleby, and I'm looking forward to working with you when you call me at 352-361-8359. That's 352-361-8359.
Please join Apostle Randy Brown. along with Dr. Gail Brown, in joyful praise every Sunday at 8:35 a.m. when they bring you the Bread of Life radio broadcast. Please tune to WOCA on 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, The Source. We look forward in sharing the word with you this and every Sunday morning at 8:35 a.m.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Load it, haul it, dump it, mow it.
AgPro will get you equipped for anything with a John Deere 5045E utility tractor. At only $159 per month, you can add the perfect attachment to dig it, plow it, grade it, anything. Request a quote at agproco.com and get equipped for anything. Offer ends 4/30/18, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. 20% down payment required. Taxes, freight, setup, and delivery charges could increase monthly payment. See dealer for details.
Attention WOCA listeners. Do you or someone you know have an outgoing personality with great organizational skills? Well, WOCA is looking for a few good people to join our marketing reps team. You get to meet other great people and business leaders in our community. WOCA Radio offers flexible schedules, great income potential, and some really great fringe benefits too. So if you enjoy talking to people and getting paid to do it, this may be the right choice for you. Apply within or send your resumes to careers@WOCA.com. They're broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, thank you. 23 minutes before 9 o'clock. Let's get beginning here with News Bites. This is the portion of AM Ocala. Sorry. This is the portion of AM Ocala Live during which Robin and I will read the news, keep our opinions to ourselves, not try to be entertaining, simply read the news. And we keep it short by reading the first part of the story, and that would normally mean the first paragraph or two. And then we, of course, tell you where we're getting the story from so that you can read the rest of it if you want, just simply by using the internet. It's one of the luxuries of today's world. You can have access to information really, really quick. So we just want to give you the thumbnail sketch, the gist of the story, and then move on to the next one. We try to keep it fair by making sure we grab stories from different news sources so that if one news source tends to politically leaning, I mean, to the left, or then we'll try to find one that leans to the right, not of the same story. That would be too redundant, I suppose. And I know you're smart enough to be able to sort it all out anyway. But that's kind of how we thought we would do this. We also tried to vary the story so that we get stories from everywhere, whether it's Ocala, Marion County, in any of the cities in Marion County, as well as the state, and of course the country and the world, and even outer space. And then finally, the genres of news are varied from political to science to crime-related to health stories, etc. I'm going to go to the Weather Channel for the first story. So if you just give me a second, I want to update it because the weather is probably the top story this morning. I want to make sure I give you the newest one that I have, and I am getting it from weather.com. And here's what it says. Hurricane Florence is forecast to move slowly through the Carolinas and southeast through this weekend and will cause catastrophic inland rainfall, flooding, life-threatening storm surge, and destructive winds. As of this morning, Florence was centered more than 500 miles southeast of Cape Fear, North Carolina, moving west-northwestward. This will likely be the storm of a lifetime for portions of the Carolina coast, the National Weather Service in Wilmington, North Carolina, wrote in its Tuesday evening area forecast discussion. A hurricane warning and storm surge warning are in effect from the South Santee River South Carolina to Duck, North Carolina, including the Albemarle and Pamlico Sounds. This includes Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and most of the Outer Banks.
On the anniversary of 9/11, FBI Director Christopher A. Wray warned that the terrorism threat has expanded with the rise of social media. Traditional aggressors like Al-Qaeda and other major terrorist organizations still loom 17 years after foreign terrorists attacked America. He warns that the agency is very focused on homegrown violent extremists. He describes how these threats are already embedded in the United States, in big cities and small towns and coast to coast, and are most radicalized through online exposure. Probes into potential homegrown violent extremists accounted for about a fifth of all the terrorist organizations' investigations. The agency made 120 arrests last year, reported by the Washington Times.
Another storm story. This is from AL.com, which I believe is the Alabama website. Tropical storm Isaac appeared poorly organized and continued to weaken this morning as it moved closer to the Caribbean. As of 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Tropical storm Isaac was located about 450 miles east of the Martinique and was moving west at 15 miles per hour, according to the National Hurricane Center. On that path, Isaac will move across the central Lesser Antilles and into the Caribbean by tomorrow. Isaac's winds fell again to 60 miles per hour, and the Hurricane Center said gradual weakening is anticipated over the next few days.
A border collie who served as the mayor of a small Kentucky community for 8 years died on Monday at the age of 12. Lucy Liu was elected Mayor Rabbit Hash in Kentucky, an unincorporated community with a history of electing dogs as mayors. As the first female dog to hold the tradition, Lucy appropriately campaigned with the slogan, "The bitch you can count on." The fluffy dog stepped down as mayor in 2016, and pit bull Brenna Paltrow was subsequently elected to the position. The Rabbit Hash Historical Society periodically holds mayoral elections to fundraise for various community projects. Votes cost $1 each. Everyone can vote as many times as they want. In 2008, Lucy Liu beat out 10 other dogs, a cat and a possum, and a jackass for the coveted position, reported by the Huffington Post.
From the Florida News Network, in a move that could trigger a legal challenge and constitutional crisis, Florida Governor Rick Scott yesterday moved ahead with plans to replace 3 justices on the state Supreme Court who are being forced to leave early next year due to age restrictions. The 3 justices who are departing are often part of a majority that has ruled against Scott and the Republican-controlled legislature in recent years. Scott asked the nominating commission to spend the next 60 days to come up with a list of replacement candidates for Justices Fred Lewis, Barbara Pariente, and Peggy Quince.
An Alabama farm has recalled its eggs after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention linked them to a multi-state salmonella outbreak. According to the Atlanta-based CDC, eggs from Gravel Ridge Farms in Coleman, Alabama could possibly be contaminated. On September the 8th, the CDC said Gravel Ridge Farms recalled packages of 12 and 2.5 dozen eggs in cardboard containers with UPC code 7-0970-3944-6. Recalled eggs have best if used by dates of July 25th, 2018 through October the 3rd, 2018. Recalled eggs were sold in grocery stores and to restaurants in Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, reported by USA Today.
From the Huffington Post, comedian Norm Macdonald's controversial comments about the Me Too movement have cost him an appearance on The Tonight Show. Macdonald was set to appear on the late night program last night, but the plug was pulled after he told The Hollywood Reporter that he was happy the hashtag Me Too movement has slowed down a bit. A Tonight Show spokesperson said it decided to cancel Macdonald's appearance in light of his comments in the press and out of sensitivity to our audience. Macdonald sparked further criticism when he defended comedian Louis C.K., who has admitted sexual misconduct, and actress Roseanne Barr, who ABC fired from the Roseanne revival for sending a racist tweet in the interview.
Security camera footage from inside a Washington, D.C. condominium building revealed who pulled the fire alarm that spurred an evacuation. A rat. A video recorded inside the condominium building shows a rat jumping from a handrail to the fire alarm, which is triggered by the rodent's weight. The alarm prompted an evacuation of the building, which was not on fire. Rat complaints to the district's 311 public assistance line have been steadily increasing in recent years, from 920 calls in 2014 to 3,153 calls during the first 7 months of 2018, reported by September the 10th. From UPI, sorry.
That's kind of funny. All right. From Fox News, a NASA spacecraft to Mars could someday feature a Mars chocolate bar logo plastered across one of its wings. NASA has called for a new committee to explore branding and endorsement opportunities, reports said on Monday. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine announced he was setting up a committee to examine provocative questions of transforming rockets into corporate billboards, much like how wraps around NASCAR race cars work, according to the Washington Post. Is it possible for NASA to offset some of its costs by selling the naming rights to its spacecraft or the naming rights to its rockets? Bridenstine said in a NASA Advisory Council meeting on August 29th. He went on to say, quote, "I'm telling you there is interest in that right now. The question is it possible? The answer is, I don't know, but we want someone to give us advice on whether it is," unquote. He said he also wanted astronauts to participate in marketing or endorsement opportunities.
Donald Trump has canceled a planned trip to Ireland in November that would have been his first as United States president, citing scheduling issues. This is according to the Irish government release. The White House in August announced that Trump would travel to Ireland for the first time as president as part of a trip to attend the November 11th commemoration in Paris of the 100th anniversary of the armistice that ended the First World War. A number of groups announced they would stage protests during the Trump visit, in which the president had been expected to visit the capital of Dublin and its golf resort in the west coast village of Doonbeg, reported by The Guardian.
From the Florida News Network, authorities say a motorcyclist crashed into a school bus and died. A Florida Highway Patrol report says 21-year-old Wanderley Rosales Eckerman was riding his motorcycle yesterday when the Pinellas County school bus made a left-hand turn in front of him. It says the motorcycle crashed into the right side of the bus, leaving Eckerman dead at the scene. It says no injuries were reported from riders on the bus coming from Nina Harris School, which specializes in special needs education. The crash report says charges are pending.
A political cartoonist in the newspaper he works for spoke out in defense of a drawing of Serena Williams that some people are calling racist and sexist. The cartoon ran Monday in the Herald Sun, a Rupert Murdoch-owned tabloid based in Melbourne, Australia. It shows Williams during her now famous meltdown while playing Naomi Osaka in the U.S. Open final on Saturday. Artist Mark Knight purposefully portrayed Williams in an unflattering light, stomping on her tennis racket with a baby's pacifier on the ground nearby as if it had popped out of her mouth, reported by the LA Times.
From the LA Times, Michael Grunstein, a longtime professor of biological chemistry at UCLA, who uncovered the key role that DNA's packing material plays in turning genes on and off, has won the Albert Lasker Award for Basic Medical Research. He shares the prize with Rockefeller University biochemist C. David Alice, who extended Grunstein's findings on how certain proteins modify gene expression and identified how one such route can lead to childhood cancers. The prize, announced yesterday, is one of 3 awarded each year by the Albert and Mary Lasker Foundation. It's often called the American Nobel because some 87 recipients have gone on to be honored by the Swedish Nobel Committee. Grunstein's and Alice's exploration of histone proteins has deepened geneticists' understanding of how an organism's DNA, identically copied in every cell, can behave so differently from cell to cell, giving rise to the exquisite complexity of say a human being.
For Kaylee Foster, there was no question that she would attend the homecoming dance with the star of the football team. That's because she was the player who kicked 2 field goals and the game-winning point after a touchdown. The senior at Ocean Springs High School in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, was also crowned homecoming queen just before the big game. Foster has been a place kicker since middle school, and she's continued to play the sport in high school. When asked whether she was more nervous before the homecoming queen announcement or before she made the kick, Foster said, "I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be homecoming queen, but I was pretty sure I was going to make that kick." Head football coach Ryan Ross said he was proud of his team and especially proud of Foster, reported by the Huffington Post.
From the Orlando Sentinel, troopers say 3 people died and 3 others were injured in a multi-vehicle crash on the Florida Turnpike. Florida Highway Patrol Sergeant Kim Montes said in a news release that the crash happened early yesterday south of Orlando. Montes says a road ranger stopped to assist with the flat tire Monday evening, but they were unable to remove the lug nuts. Trooper red tagged the vehicle as disabled, and the driver said she'd have someone help her. After midnight, the woman began driving slowly with an SUV following. A FedEx tractor trailer struck the SUV and jackknifed. The SUV hit the car. Montes says 3 people in the SUV died and 3 others were taken to hospitals. The truck driver and driver of the car with the flat tire suffered minor injuries.
California-based chain 99-cents only stores broke a Guinness World Record by using 12,000 products to create a giant number 99. The company gathered up 12,000 products that it sells for 99 cents in its stores and arranged them into the giant number at the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena, California. The products used to create the number 99 include cleaning products, produce, pet food, and cosmetics. A Guinness adjudicator was on hand to confirm the 99, which covered a total 18,200 square feet, and that was a new world record for largest packaged product number, reported by UPI.
Police in Florida say an alligator bit a man who went into a lake to retrieve a flying frisbee. News outlets report that the alligator, estimated to be around 11 feet long, bit the 35-year-old man identified as Richard Peel on Monday. Clearwater police say the man was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Peel had been playing disc golf at Cliff Stevens Park when he went to grab the frisbee from the lake. The alligator attacked him, but witnesses fought it off and pulled him out. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission spokeswoman Ashley Tyler says the alligator was positively identified and pulled out of the lake.
Police in the Long Island town of Coram, New York, are looking for the people responsible for putting up vending machines that appear to be crack pipes. 2 of the small blue machines were found over the weekend. Angry residents reported them to police, who then removed them. The machines have coin slots where would-be patrons insert $2 to get a pen-shaped device that has the items required to construct a pipe used to smoke crack cocaine. They were actually repurposed tampon dispensers, said Jack Krieger, communications director for the town of Brookhaven. Who in their right mind would even do something like that to enable and to encourage somebody to do this? Tony Galla, a Coram resident, said that police are now looking for the crack pipe vendors, reported by UPI.
From USA Today, the scientists at the renowned Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew in London are trying to correct an injustice. They don't believe fungus gets the respect it deserves. That's one reason behind the release today of their State of the World's Fungi report, touted as the first ever global look at the way fungi help provide food, medicine, plant nutrition, and life-saving drugs. The focus on fungi is designed to call attention to potentially vital new uses now being studied, including possible deployment of a fungus that eats plastic and degrades it quickly, and one that may clean up radioactive waste. When looking for nature-based solutions to some of our most critical global challenges, fungi could provide many of the answers, Director of Science Catherine Willis said. She went on to say, "We ignore it at our peril," unquote.
A Google executive's leaked email reveals efforts to increase Latino turnout prior to the 2016 U.S. presidential election and the executive surprise at Donald Trump's performance among Latino voters. The 675-word email was written by the tech giant's former head of multicultural marketing, and it details details a range of efforts to increase Latino turnout, including the support of a partner organization that helped to drive voters to the polls, reported by Fox.
From digitaltrends.com, the luxury SUV is fast replacing the luxury car, so Mercedes-Benz couldn't afford to mess this one up. The new 2020 GLE, revealed online, boasts a sharper and more cohesive design than the outgoing model, a bigger selection of standard and optional technology features, plus an available mild hybrid powertrain. It's ready for another Jurassic Park adventure should researchers discover something else survived on remote dinosaur-infested islands. What we like that Mercedes designers put in the effort to make the new GLE stand out from its predecessor and the growing list of SUVs it will share showroom space with.
The publisher of the New York Times said Tuesday that the newspaper's decision to run an anonymous opinion piece criticizing President Donald Trump's leadership added to the public understanding of this administration and the actions and beliefs of the people within it. Publisher A.G. Sulzberger defended running the op-ed to a gathering of U.S. news leaders in Austin, Texas. He provides no clues about the author, whom the Times identify as a senior administration official. The author professes to be a member of a quiet resistance within the administration that is straining to thwart Trump's more misguided impulses. Trump fumed after the piece was published last week, saying the newspaper should turn over the author's name, and he called on the U.S. Justice Department to investigate and unmask the person, reported by the Houston Chronicle.
From the Florida News Network, a Florida inmate has been sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for threatening a judge who presided over his case. Court records show 30-year-old Craig Pope was sentenced yesterday in Pensacola federal court. He pleaded guilty in June to mailing threatening communications and threatening use of a weapon of mass destruction. Authorities say Pope was an inmate at the Santa Rosa Correctional Institution last spring when he sent 2 threatening letters to a Hillsborough County judge.
A top Republican congressman and fired FBI agent Peter Strzok's lawyer traded scathing no-holds-barred accusations of deliberate dishonesty on Tuesday, one day after newly unearthed text messages showed Strzok discussing a media leak strategy with the Justice Department in April of 2017, reported by Fox.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, this is from the Ocala Star Banner. A wet winter and spring throughout Florida resulted in more cases of mosquito-borne viruses being transmitted to sentinel chickens, horses, and humans over the summer within the state. As a result, University of Florida entomology professor Jonathan Day is urging those engaging in outdoor activities this fall to stay protected from potential bug bites. Infected mosquitoes transmitting the Eastern equine encephalitis virus and the West Nile virus throughout Florida are capable of causing severe disease in humans and horses. To date, 3 human cases of EEEV or encephalitis virus, Eastern equine encephalitis virus, have been reported in Florida, including 1 each in Columbia County and Taylor County. 7 human cases of the West Nile virus have been reported in Bay, Nassau, Duval, and Manatee counties.
Then CIA Director John Brennan endorsed the Christopher Steele dossier when he first acquired a copy in December 2016, saying it matched the Russian collusion charges from his sources, according to Fear, a Bob Woodward novel on the Donald Trump presidency that debuted yesterday. A spokesman for Mr. Brennan said he never approved of the dossier. In fact, he worked to make sure it was not included in the intelligence community assessment of Russian election interference because it was not corroborated intel, reported by the Washington Times.
From NPR.org, before Apple was $1 trillion company, before its phones and laptops came to dominate the tech industry, it was just a California startup working out of a garage. Now, one of the first products the company ever made, the Apple I computer, is about to be the star of a live auction on September 25th in Boston. The Apple I is so iconic of that era, of the garage era Silicon Valley, that I think there is almost no other object that really encapsulates what it does culturally and technologically, says Dag Spicer, senior curator for the Computer History Museum. The headline on this story, just to cut to the chase, says that a 6-figure price tag is expected for that rare Apple One computer at an auction.
The 2018 midterm elections are exactly 56 days away. 8 weeks from today, the nation will go and vote, rendering the verdict on the first 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency and the relative judgments of the two parties, reported by CNN.
And if I can slip this in real quickly, tomorrow evening, there's an opportunity for you to paint, drink wine, and help solve the riddle of cancer. This is an event happening here in Ocala at a place called Painting with a Twist at Market Street at Heathbrook. It's being presented by the Royal Dames, Ocala Royal Dames. I'm sorry, I'm getting it all wrong. I'm trying to improvise here a little bit. But anyway, Robert and I are doing it. If you'd like to do it with us, it's $35 a person. The money goes to help cure cancer, or find a cure for cancer. The number to call is 368-7928. 368-7928. How many stories today?
30.
We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. Hurricane Florence is about 530 miles from North Carolina now, with wind blowing 130 miles an hour. In addition to the threat from the wind and the storm surge, once this storm arrives and stalls, some parts of North Carolina could get more than 3 feet of rain.
We're talking about some massive flooding here, and that's where a lot of people die.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Florence is expected to approach the Carolina coast tomorrow night. A global climate summit starts today in San Francisco. Dozens of mayors from around the country are there, joining political and business leaders from around the world.
Yesterday, the Conference of Mayors issued a report that says 95% of surveyed mayors said their cities had experienced climate change effects in the past 5 years, like heavy rains, flooding, heat waves, and wildfires that top the list.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The conference runs through Friday, hosted by California Governor Jerry Brown. Fox News. We report, you decide.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms. Frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way, which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Hurricane Florence will lash the Carolinas late tomorrow and into Friday as an intense hurricane with life-threatening storm surge and flooding. It is forecast to be one of the strongest strikes on record for that part of the U.S. East Coast. Florida Governor Rick Scott yesterday moved ahead with plans to replace 3 justices on the state Supreme Court who are being forced to leave early next year due to age restrictions. Authorities say a motorcyclist has crashed into a Florida school bus and died in Pinellas County. Troopers say 3 people died and 3 others were injured in a multi-vehicle crash on Florida's Turnpike south of Orlando. An alligator bit a man who went into a lake to retrieve a Frisbee at a park in Clearwater. A Florida inmate has been sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for threatening the judge who presided over his case, and a 14-story hotel tower will be built on the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort Complex. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Honey Baked Ham has